On the day of your divorce from the national goddess, your best friend dragged you to a dating reality show. But when you arrived at the scene, you realized your ex-girlfriend was also there. During the self-introduction segment, you sang a heartfelt song that brought all the female guests to tears, instantly breaking your ex-girlfriend's emotional defense. It even made your ex-wife regret divorcing you. You on HUA, you useless fool. Hurry up and sign the divorce papers. My daughter is now a superstar. Don't even think about leeching off her anymore. You worthless coward. Facing the middle-aged woman's accusations, your expression remained unchanged. You glanced at the scattered documents on the coffee table. The divorce agreement, with the words "leave" with nothing prominently displayed, piercingly clear. You ignored the shouting woman in front of you and slightly turned your head, gazing towards a distant spot, where a stunning beauty leaned silently against the wall. This woman was none other than the newly crowned superstar of the entertainment world. Your wife, Shen Xingku, the woman who had just yelled at you, was your mother-in-law, Zhang Li. Sensing your gaze, Shen Xingku raised her head slightly, meeting your deep, soulful eyes. Her heart trembled. For a moment, she even considered abandoning the idea of divorce, wanting to continue living with you just like this. But then she remembered. She had just become a superstar, and her position was still not secure yet. She absolutely couldn't let herself be dragged down by you. Shen Qingqiu's gaze no longer wavered when she looked at you, but was now more resolute than ever before. You on HUA, you should sign the papers. We were once husband and wife. Let's at least part ways with some dignity. Let's end this amicably. You weren't originally from this world. You had crossed over from Earth. It had already been 5 years since you arrived in this world, and you had been married to Shen Qingku for 2 years. When you first crossed over, you were a freshman in the directing department at the Drama Academy in Magic City. Shen Qingku, on the other hand, was in the music department. The two of you met in college and eventually fell in love. Right after graduating from university, you both got married. After the wedding, Shen Qingku naturally entered the entertainment industry, while you, wanting to let her have no worries, took on the responsibility of managing the household. After marrying Shen Qingku, you brought her parents over and did your best to take care of them. But Shen Qingqiu's parents never liked you. They thought you were just living off their daughter, doing nothing all day, simply leeching off her success. What they didn't know was, you had never spent a single cent of Shen Qingqiu's money. Instead, you had invested a lot of your own money into her. In your previous life, you had worked in the entertainment industry, so you knew how complicated and ruthless it could be. To help Shen Qingku survive in that world, you had poured all your earnings into her career. You had even copied a song from your previous life and gave it to Shen Qingku. Shen Qingqiu's rise to stardom as a superstar was not just due to your financial support. The song Red Bean you wrote for her was Shen Qingqiu's breakthrough hit. But Shen Qingku didn't know any of this. She always thought you were an uneducated, idle, good-for-nothing waste of space. Looking at the divorce papers on the table, you couldn't help but recall a famous saying from your previous life. When you reach the shore, the first thing to do is sever ties with your beloved. You calmly nodded and signed your name on the divorce papers. Your indifferent demeanor caused a sharp pain in Shen Qingqiu's heart. I know this isn't fair to you, but before Shen Qingku could finish speaking, you had already stood up and left. Your broad and nonchalant figure as you walked away made Shen Qingku feel increasingly restless. Is divorcing me really so easy for you? Did these 2 years of marriage mean nothing to you? Zhang Li's sharp voice echoed, making Shen Qingku even more irritable. Finally, that worthless fool is gone. Now no one will leech off of you anymore. After leaving the villa, you hailed a cab, planning to go back to your apartment for a good night's sleep. But just as you arrived at the apartment, a sudden figure jumped out, startling you. Fatty son, what are you doing here? The figure that jumped out wasn't just anyone. It was none other than your old college buddy, Sun Fugui. This guy was as round as a ball, so everyone called him Fatty Sun. Seeing Fatty Sun suddenly appear, you were completely taken aback. Wasn't this guy working on some kind of dating reality show? It had been heavily promoted and was trending pretty well. By now, it should have been shooting, right? As a stage name, I need your help. The show I'm producing, Sweet Guests is set to officially premiere tomorrow. But the male star we paid a fortune for, the national heartthrob Li Yifeng, has had a major scandal. Not only is he banned from leaving the country, but he's also going to be doing hard labor. The show is about to air, and I've been begging everyone I know, anyone with some influence in the industry, but they all turned me down. That's why I came to you. You were stunned. Could he possibly want you to participate in the dating show? Isn't your show a dating program? Sun Fugui nodded furiously like a chicken pecking at grain. Yes, exactly. Without thinking. You immediately shook your head in refusal. Are you kidding me? I just got divorced today. And you want me to be on a dating show? That's completely inappropriate. Never mind the fact that you were freshly divorced. Even if you weren't, there's no way you would agree to it. You were tired of the entertainment industry, which was why you had chosen not to follow the same path in this life. If you had copied the music from your previous life and released it in this world, you'd easily reach a new level of fame. But you hadn't, because you had long been fed up with life in the entertainment industry. You had already made up your mind. You had planned to take a trip to explore the great landscapes of your homeland. When Sun Fugui saw your refusal, he immediately panicked. Godfather, please, just help me out for 1 week. Until I find a suitable replacement for you, I'll get someone to replace you as soon as I can. At those words, you were momentarily stunned. What did you just call me? Sun Fugui looked at you seriously, his voice firm and unwavering. Godfather, you had planned to refuse again. But how could you say no after being called Godfather? Fine, 1 week. 1 week, and once you find a proper replacement, I'm out. Sun Fugui immediately understood that you had agreed, his face brightening with relief. Yezi's stage name. You're truly a good brother. As he spoke, Sun Fugui grabbed you and pulled you off the couch. Stop wasting time. Let's go now, or we'll miss the flight. You were utterly dumbfounded by his actions. Wow, this guy really came prepared, huh? Meanwhile, on the other side, Shen Qingku was tossing and turning in bed, unable to fall asleep. Her mind was filled with the image of you walking away in big strides. Just then, a pleasant ringing broke the silence. Shen Qingku answered the call. It was her agent, ZAI. Qingku, is it done? Have you finalized the divorce? After receiving Shen Qingku's confirmation, ZAI's excitement was palpable. That's great. That bloodsucker is finally out of your life. Congratulations, Qingku. Your path to superstardom is now completely clear. I'll be with you every step of the way. Zirui's words left Shen Qingku in a daze. Was divorcing you really the right decision? Meanwhile, you and Sun Fugui having landed, it was already past 2 a.m. In just half an hour, Sweet Guests was going to be live-streamed to the entire internet. Sun Fugui grabbed you and started running like crazy. As he ran, he pulled out his phone. Right on time. We'll start the broadcast. Half an hour flew by in a blink. The Sweet Guests show started right on schedule. As the cameras rolled, the audience who had been eagerly waiting in the live chat was greeted by an incredibly stunning view. A towering mountain, reaching the clouds, suddenly appeared on the screen. At the foot of the mountain, there was a small courtyard enclosed by a wooden fence. The whole scene gave off a feeling of paradise. As the show officially began, the prepped contestants started to appear one by one. The first to appear on screen was a young girl in a white dress. Her slender figure causing the live chat to go wild instantly. Isn't that my wife? She's married and still joining a dating show? Jong Nan's arrival immediately boosted the live stream's popularity. As she stood at the gate of the courtyard, the second contestant began to make his entrance. The second to appear was a man. As soon as this man showed up, the live chat exploded into a frenzy. The live chat was filled with comments like "My hubby-kun is so handsome." The male contestant, who had just appeared, was the heartthrob of countless women, the fresh-faced idol Sai-kun. As time slowly passed, more contestants made their entrances one by one. Each contestant's appearance pushed the atmosphere in the live chat to new heights. The *Sweet Guests* production team had spared no expense to make sure the show became an instant hit. They had invited 8 big-name contestants this time. If it weren't for the fact that the last national heartthrob had a public scandal, the lineup for *Sweet Guests* would have been nothing short of terrifying. No one knew which guest the chief director had invited to fill the gap. As time ticked by, the last contestant still hadn't appeared. The audience started getting impatient. Who is the last contestant? Why are they acting so high and mighty? It wasn't just the audience that was unhappy. Even the other contestants were annoyed. They had been waiting at the entrance for nearly half an hour. The female contestants were already covered in light sweat. Seeing this, the production team hurriedly called Sun Fugui. "Director, when are you arriving? We're running out of time over here." Sun Fugui glanced at you in the back seat, gritting his teeth. "Hold on just a bit longer. Tell them we've invited a superstar." The production team immediately shared this news. The announcement was made public right away. Instead of calming things down, the news that the final guest was a superstar. As soon as the news was announced, the live chat exploded. A superstar? How big of a star are we talking about? Could there really be someone bigger than my It wasn't just the viewers who were shocked. Even the contestants were dumbfounded. After hearing the news, they looked at one another, all with expressions of confusion. Everyone was completely baffled. Suddenly, a yellow taxi appeared on camera. The viewers in the live chat were stunned for a moment, then quickly flooded the screen with comments. The show wasn't lying. They were telling the absolute truth. A real superstar has arrived, and they arrived in a taxi. This is a first for us. As a figure stepped out of the taxi, the audience immediately erupted into angry curses. Who the hell is this? We've been waiting all this time, and they bring us a pig. The show's staff couldn't help but cover their mouths and snicker as they saw the flood of comments. The figure that stepped out of the taxi was none other than their director, Sun Fugui. When the contestants saw Sun Fugui, their expressions didn't change much. Their eyes all bypassed Sun Fugui and locked onto the yellow taxi behind him. They were all eager to know who had really arrived. You, of course, had no idea that the taxi had driven right into the live set. Nor did you realize that all eyes were on you. You casually opened the car door and calmly stepped out, completely unaware that your simple, ordinary action of stepping out of the car was drawing the attention of everyone around you. But it left the viewers in the live chat completely stunned. "Wow, he's so handsome. I really like him." Seeing the sudden spike in data backstage, the production team was equally shocked. They saw their director, Sun Fugui, bring in what they assumed was an intern, and they had already prepared themselves for a drastic drop in viewership. You, of course, had no idea that your entrance had already caused a small surge in excitement. If your appearance brought a slight peak, then your next words would instantly elevate the atmosphere to a new high. As you stepped in front of the other contestants, you froze on the spot. You had just spotted your ex-girlfriend. The look you gave Sun Fugui immediately changed. If looks could kill, Sun Fugui would have been stabbed 1,000,000 times by now. It wasn't just you who froze. All the contestants were stunned as well. Didn't they say a superstar was coming? Who is this guy? He's pretty good looking. But I have no clue who he is. Two contestants in particular had the biggest reaction. One was Despised, and the other was Song Rui. Both of their pupils contracted, their eyes filled with shock. Yuan Shui, they both spoke in unison, leaving everyone around them confused. Coupled with the expressions on their faces, it wasn't hard for the others to guess that there was some history between the three of you. Saikun glanced at you with a meaningful look. In his heart, Saikun had already started to resent you. The only reason he joined this show was to pursue Song Rui. When Song Rui saw you, she became furious. As Shen Qiu's best friend, she of course knew you were Shen Qiu's worthless husband. However, at this moment, Song Rui didn't know. The two of you had already divorced. If it weren't for the cameras everywhere, Song Rui would have pointed at you and yelled, "You deadbeat! How dare you show up on a dating show? Does your wife know about this?" Meanwhile, as Despised looked at your familiar face, his eyes suddenly became distant. A flood of long-buried memories came rushing back to him. Yuan Hua, I finally found you. And this time, I won't let go. Sun Fugui noticed your odd expression and quickly gave a discreet look to signal that there were cameras around. Seeing Sun Fugi's casual expression, you barely restrained yourself from beating him up. I treated you like a brother, and you stabbed me in the back. You knew my ex-girlfriend was here, and yet you dragged me onto a dating show. Sensing the tension, the host quickly stepped in. Now that everyone's here, let's officially begin our dating show. Next, we'll have each of you showcase your talents. Saikun, eager to redeem himself, stepped to the center of the room. I'll go first, he said confidently. As the music began to play, Saikun's body began to sway gently, in rhythm with the music. The female fans in the live chat immediately erupted in screams. Kun, you're so handsome! After Saikun finished his performance, Huangming took the stage next. He had prepared a song as well asterisk Shanghai Bund asterisk. One by one, the other contestants finished their performances, and everyone turned their gaze toward you. They were all curious about what kind of performance you would do. Then they saw you borrow a guitar from the staff. Sun Fugui was completely stunned on the spot. He had been your classmate for years, and never knew you could play the guitar. Is this guy here to mess things up? Sun Fugui immediately grabbed the walkie-talkie and said, "Everyone be ready for anything." When Song Rui saw you take the stage with a guitar, she was also taken aback. That good-for-nothing actually knows how to play the guitar. Why has Chinku never mentioned this before? Dibala, too, looked on with curious, lively eyes. You walked to the center of the room with the guitar and gave it a quick tune, but just that small action alone drove the fangirls in the live chat completely wild. However, the male viewers didn't feel the same way. They already weren't impressed by you, and now this simple act made them even more annoyed. They had already made up their minds. The moment you started singing, they were going to tear you apart. An intern from some company. How good could his singing even be? After tuning the guitar, you got ready to perform. You flashed a gentle smile to everyone and began your performance, using 3 cups to black out your memories, just so you might love me a little more. The bitterness of secret love, you don't understand that feeling. You, who already has someone by your side, will never know. You, who already has someone with you. I see you with her right in front of me. Seeing you with her in front of me proves that my love is nothing but foolishness. Proves that my love is a fleeting storm. You don't understand my weariness. You don't understand the exhaustion I carry. It's an experience you'll never, ever have. You'll never know the heartbreak I endured for you. Why did I force myself to fall in love with you? Why did I force myself to love everything about you? You pushed me so hard, and quietly I closed the door, counting my tears. I quietly shut the door, knowing that asking you to leave her world is something that would never happen. I foolishly waited for a miracle that would never come. Until that day when you'll realize. Until that day when you finally see that the one who truly loves you is the one who silently bears the sorrow alone. The one who truly loves you is the one who bears the sorrow alone, without any background music, only relying on the sound of the guitar. Your slightly weathered yet warm voice left everyone completely spellbound. The contestants around you all were expressions of enchantment, immersed in the world you painted with your song. Song Rui, on the other hand, was utterly shocked, her beautiful eyes wide with astonishment.